Hello friends, Iceberg with Dillon Brothers Motorsports, and today I am excited to go take out the brand new 2018 Honda Gold Wing. This is the DCT model, the dual clutch transmission. So this is an automatic motorcycle. I'm very interested to give this thing a try. I have heard amazing things about it from a few people who have taken it out for a test ride. So I'm excited to go take it out for myself and see what I think. So let's quit talking about it and get out for a rip. Alright, so the first thing with these new models is, especially on the DCTs, being that there is no clutch, it is just a push start. And you are up and running. Now, this is going to let me know, looks like my trunk is open. It's all a learning experience, my friends, but that's cool, though. The motorcycle is telling me, hey, your trunk is open, so let's go figure that out. Okay. Alright, trunk is now officially closed, my friends. As I said, it's all a learning process to me. So, I really like the setup here on this dash. This is very cool. It, has everything you need in it, man. Letting you know the temperature outside, how many miles you have on it, how much miles you have left on your gas, your mode set, just all sorts of fun stuff. You've got the standard analog speedo and analog RPMs, which I like, keeping it with the, a little bit of the old school. Obviously, you have your full LCD screen on here. This is not a touch screen. Everything is going to be run off of your pad here. Volume switch for radio, which this thing actually has a shockingly nice radio on it. You can just tell right off the bat, this is a very, very nice radio on here. Okay, now that we've kind of gone through just a few of those things, we'll get more to it as we go. Oh, the last thing I would like to touch on with this, the big upgrade here with the technology on this motorcycle is the past Gold Wings, you always had to plug your phone into a USB. And there was a lot of complaints about that. This one is full Bluetooth capable. It also is the first motorcycle to have the Apple CarPlay. So if you are an Apple user and have an iPhone, everything is going to sync right to your motorcycle. You are going to be able to make direct calls by saying, hey, call wife, call, job. So that's a real nice touch. It's all going to sync through there. You can get all your music straight through here. I think Honda made a very nice choice by finally kind of upgrading the technology to that point, because I know that was a big complaint over the years that there was no Bluetooth connectivity on previous models. But alright, now that I have kind of rambled on about all the settings here and a few of the doodads, let's go take this bad boy for a rip. And what's cool is that being the DCT model and being fully automatic, you basically just switch this bad boy right into drive mode and you're set. And what's nice is you don't have to pull in a clutch when you come to a stop. The motorcycle is not going to take off of you in drive mode until you twist the throttle. So I think that's very cool. I like that setup there. And all right, well, let's get it out on the road for a little bit. Now, I am going to take this through a few different, kind of rides. But mainly, I want to see how this bigger motorcycle handles on your everyday commute. So I'm going to keep it into, some more urban roads. I'm going to take it through a neighborhood to go over speed bumps. I really want to put that new suspension to the test, which that kind of leads me to, let's talk about that, because that is one of the biggest upgrades on these new Gold Wings, is that new Wishbone front suspension. They were able to, they took off a lot of weight off this motorcycle. On the DCT models, you're talking about 85 pounds came off these motorcycles. So this, completely wet and ready for the road, is an 833 pound Gold Wing. So they did shave quite a few pounds off of it. They were able to move the engine forward in the chassis due to that new Wishbone suspension. And so what the Wishbone does is, instead of moving back and forth, coming back towards the motorcycle, it now just moves up and down. So you're not having the wheel coming back towards the frame. It's just moving in a nice and up and down motion, which was able to shorten the wheelbase, move the engine forward in the chassis, and overall also decrease weight on the motorcycle, which I just think is great. I mean, this thing, I can tell you right now, I've ridden previous Gold Wings, and this thing is just, it's perfect. It's really nice and lightweight for a bigger touring motorcycle. I'm definitely a fan so far, and I haven't gotten very far, so anyways, let's do it. The power delivery and the throttle response on this thing is spectacular. You know, another redesign was on the engine. This obviously has the liquid-cooled 6-cylinder engine. It is now an 1833cc motor. Out for a cruise here, doing about 50 miles an hour. And I have to tell you, it is just silky smooth on this motorcycle. I mean, this is probably the smoothest motorcycle I've ever ridden. It is a little odd. I'm looking for the clutch and there is not one, but it's that's just from years and years of obviously riding a motorcycle and shifting with the clutch. But I can tell you that I have not felt the engine shift. It has obviously shifted, and you don't feel it at all. It's a very interesting sensation. And how smooth this motorcycle is. I mean, I feel like I'm crawling at 45 because there's just no vibration. And this road here is actually quite bumpy. I don't know if you can kind of see the road that I'm on, but it is quite bumpy. And the suspension on this bike is absolutely incredible. Brakes on this bike are very responsive. It really not much effort into getting this motorcycle to slow down. Cornering is nice. I obviously didn't hit it too hard, but it the weight just completely disappears on this motorcycle. It's quite shocking, actually, how smooth and lightweight this bigger bike is. As I said, you know, they were able to shave off a lot of weight, almost 90 pounds, bringing the total to 833 pounds on this motorcycle. Just, I can't say enough about how smooth of a bike it is, and the handling and the responsiveness. You can really kind of just toss this thing around with no effort whatsoever. So now we can get it up to a little bit more suitable cruising speed. And once again, I didn't feel the engine shift at all. It's very impressive. It's kind of odd, as I said. It's a little strange, but it's just so smooth. You just don't notice it shifting at all. The windshield on here is nice. I am not getting any blast to like my face or my chest. The windshield on here is really pushing the air up and over, and as you can see, you know, you get some of these semis blasting past you at 70 miles an hour, and the wind was not coming and hitting me too hard. Windshield is perfect where it's set for me. I'm 6'1", so you know I am up above the windshield, but once again, as I said, it's doing its job as far as the wind control. It's very nice. Seating position on here, it is your standard seating position. My back feels very comfortable. The seat is extremely comfortable, and it's just overall just a very nice, smooth ride. Not a lot of that suspension is, I can't say enough about it. It truly is incredible. I do know that this year with these 18s that there has been some controversy with these motorcycles. You know, a lot of people who are diehard Gold Wing people were a little bit put off by, I guess, what you may call the lack of storage space. And I can see their point to a degree. They did definitely downsize on the storage on here. And so I can see where that can put off some of the longer touring riding Gold Wing riders. But I have to say that for what you may have given up on some space as far as storage, the ride on this bike more than makes up for that. This thing is a dream to ride. I can truly say I have never ridden a motorcycle as smooth as this bike. You know, being my first time riding it, I'm coming into corners a little slow. I'm trying to learn the bike myself as we go. But as I said, I can understand to a degree where some people were put off by that, but you know what? Pack a little bit less because this thing is too much fun to ride, and the responsiveness on it is just, it's incredible. I mean, you barely twist that throttle and you are going. You know, 1,833 cc's of motorcycle is a lot of motorcycle, especially now on the lighter weight frame. It's, can't say enough about it. I truly am enjoying this bike, and I feel that, you know, people sometimes look, as motorcyclists, maybe we all have a brand that we are diehard about and that we love, but I think that it's exciting times in the motorcycle industry to where there are so many new models coming out, so many new things to try, that why wouldn't you take a different bike out and try it? The technology of these new bikes, the updates that they've done to suspension, to engine, to, you know, just your technology in it as far as touch screens and capability of hooking your phones up and all these things, just, as I said, it's an exciting time to be a motorcyclist, and these new brands and these new models that are coming out are incredible. And I truly, you know, recommend people to come out and try something new. Take one for a ride. I mean, that's what dealerships are for. You know, at Dillon Brothers, we love putting people on motorcycles. Go take it for a ride. Get that experience. Take it out. It's a wasted opportunity if your mindset is stuck in, well, this is the only bike I ride, because there's so many new and exciting motorcycles out there like this Gold Wing. I know I'm kind of rambling a little bit, but it's just true. This bike is incredible. If I were ready for a touring motorcycle, this would definitely be one that I would consider for sure. Effortless to ride. The bike handles itself, so I can't say enough. Once again, just a little strange not going for the clutch when you're stopping, but as I said, that drive mode, the bike will not move on you until you hit the throttle. It's very cool. I really like that design on here. You know, I can definitely say about this Gold Wing that, yes, I would tour on this, but part of my ride review here and keeping it in town and not getting it out on the interstate was because I wanted to feel the handling and the weight of the motorcycle in your more average everyday riding, commuting to work, because that's you know, as motorcyclists, we're not always going out touring. We're riding our bikes to work every day, and I can tell you that the weight on this motorcycle completely disappears, especially when you're moving, and the balance of it, even when you're at a stop sign, a stoplight, is just, it all disappears. It's so well balanced. Yeah, this is definitely an everyday riding motorcycle. It's a little bit windy out today, and I like that this bike, once again, is so balanced, and it really stays on a nice straight line on the road. Even in higher winds, you're not kind of fighting it. I did feel that on some of the previous Gold Wing models, being much heavier, a little bit bulkier, not with like the sleek design that these new 18s have, that on your higher wind days, you did get kind of beat around and pushed around a little bit more. This thing, as you can see, which I shouldn't be showing bad examples of taking my hand off the handlebars, but it's just the bike is effortless to ride and to handle. It just wants to stay on that nice straight line, and I can't not say enough about this Gold Wing, and especially this DCT model. I'm really digging it. Not having to shift is it's interesting at first, but it kind of becomes very cool that you don't have to shift, and the bike just does it all for you. The other nice thing about this DCT, that when you are doing touring and you are heading out on the interstate, this has the 7th gear overdrive. So, you know, on those moments where you are really kind of getting after it, that 7th gear is going to kick in and keep you at nice, smooth, low RPMs on your higher mile rides on the interstate. And I think that's great. You know, I'm taking these corners slow because I want to feel the weight and the balance of the bike as I do so. Sometimes on the bigger touring machines, you know, you come into a corner a little bit slow and you just feel like the bike wants to go over on you. That is not the case on that. Plus, I want to see the suspension on your everyday speed bumps, and it's very nice. You know, I hit that at about 25 miles an hour. My, rear end did not come up off the seat, so that's definitely a good tell sign of a quality suspension. And as I said, I wanted to take it through neighborhoods and get that experience of the bigger bike everyday riding. You know, we're not always on the interstate doing touring. I myself ride to work every day, so I want to know, how is a bike this size, this weight, going to handle on me going through my neighborhoods and stop and go traffic and heading to work. And I've got to tell you, I would ride this bike every day. Just wonderful smooth delivery. I'm actually quite blown away by this bike. And I hope that you enjoyed this brief ride review. I know that, I didn't get too spec heavy because I wanted to give the feel and the true sensation of how I was feeling on the motorcycle. Our website has the full download of specs on these bikes. You can go read up on them yourself, but just know, as a motorcycle enthusiast and a daily rider, that this Gold Wing is phenomenal, and I cannot say enough about its handling, about its throttle response, about its comfort. This bike has actually blown me away just on this brief ride, and I really do suggest that no matter what brand you're into and what you ride, if you are considering a new touring motorcycle, that you truly should come out to Dillon Brothers Motorsports and give this bike a try. Take it out for a test ride, because I think you're going to be as surprised as I am at exactly how nice this motorcycle is and how it rides. Once again, just kind of blown away by it. So thank you as always for checking out our videos. Really do appreciate it. And always remember, my friends, gear up and ride safe. Thanks a lot.